let's take a look at all the levels of awareness. There's only 3, and we're going to start with level 1. Level 1 awareness is basically you're in comfortable surroundings, you're in familiar surroundings such as your own house. Maybe if you were at school or the campus, it's your dorm room, a parent's house, a friend's house, things of that nature. You're pretty much in familiar surroundings and you know where everything is at and you're pretty much comfortable. That's level 1 awareness. Figure out how to get this fixed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Survive and Protect. I just want to kind of share something with you. I guess I consider this like a part 2 of area assessment. I've been doing some, like I told you guys before. You always want to do an area assessment in the neighborhood that you're moving to, and sometimes even I'm walking my dog, of course. Let me make sure I got something straight here real quick. All right, there you go. Walking the dog, got my finger or hand in the way there. Get back. All right, so like I said, I just call this one area assessment part 2 because I wanted to share something with you if I come across it, which I think I will in a few minutes. But like I said, you want to do, and I'll probably share something that happened probably about, I'll say 3 in the morning, and then what I noticed. And again, that's just being aware of the area surroundings you live in. But like I said, you do an area assessment. When I was explaining it, basically to figure out or to get a general idea of how activities will be in the area that you would be living in or staying in temporarily. And you can sometimes even do that if you're visiting family or friends, because maybe they're not accustomed to doing stuff like that or as security minded as you are or you might become. And so of course you do an area assessment, and I did the breakdown, like you do it at different times of the day, space it out, doing it like within a 2-week time span, 2-week time frame. And to add on to that, you also, if you want to get a little bit deeper with it, you also want to do these area assessments and spread them out, not just to your neighborhood, kind of spread out even further. All right. And the reason being is because you never know if there will be other types of emergencies, like for whatever reason, it could be as simple or not simple, depending on how you look at things. Come over here. As maybe it might be water situations going on at your house, the new location you're staying at, or the apartment complex you're staying at, and it might become to one of those like serious emergencies where you're gonna have to find alternative sources of water, right? And so I think we had passed it, but I'll show you guys coming back. So I was walking down further in the neighborhood and ended up locating where I guess it's considered a water stream of water, like a water source basically. But of course you're gonna have to filter out that water and clean it, and that's probably a whole different video altogether as far as that's concerned, on how to filter your water if you have to get it outside of your home, and you might have to get it from a stream. And my battery's going low, but we're gonna try to do it as fast as we can here. So I was also doing that, walking the area, and the location where I was walking at, I just started noticing they have the little drainage spots, and I'm gonna try to show you. Hopefully this phone won't go out before I get a chance to show you real quick. That's why I'm turning back around to go back so we can get come across it. But also what I noticed, there was little flags in the ground, and I will show you that here in a minute if I see one. I just passed several of them, but one of them had, like, there were several orange color ones. There were several red color ones, and they were stuck in the ground, and it said the red ones were like buried power. So apparently underground here in the area, I guess their power, you can say power lines are buried underground. So I wouldn't fool with it unless you know what you was doing. But if it came down to it and you had to get some type of power source, like I said, I wouldn't suggest it unless it like came to some serious dire situations, and if you needed to get to some type of power source, then you probably can start digging to where those flags are implanted. But like I said, that's something real dangerous unless you know what you're doing. But it's just something to go with what I was talking about as far as doing your area assessment, because you never know. Things can happen in an emergency, and you're going to have to know where other sources are. Also, in the area assessment, when you move into a new location, you definitely want to know excuse me, where your fire stations are, where the police stations are, where hospitals are, so you know how to get to them. You know the location, the address, the routes. So that might require you can walk it and find out. You can also research it online. I don't want to go down there, it's too muddy. My dog just wants to be walked down here before. Matter of fact, here's one of the water sources. I can kind of show you that. I don't want to go too much into this down in this little trail here, but let me get you guys to check it out real quick. All right, here we go. Like I said, there's my dog. He wants to explore. But there you see right there. If worst came to worst and it was some emergency situation and I needed to get to a water source, if it got that bad where you couldn't get any water anywhere, all of this stream here is a nice trail, a stream of water, and it goes all the way. It kind of cuts around things. And even if it came to the point where you had to live out here, live near a water source, all right? So I always did my studying and researching, and the 5 most important things you want to consider is, of course, if things get real serious where you have to leave your home, is having first aid, fire, water, shelter, and food. First aid, fire, water, shelter, food. Yeah, that's the 5 most important things you want to consider in situations where you may have to leave your residence. And like I said, I found this just walking, it's not too far off where I'm living at, and found this stream of water. Also at the little drainage areas where the water drains if it rains or whatever, and on top of those lids it says leads to water stream. So that would be another indication. Even if I didn't come across this, I would have to say, oh, okay, it's telling me that it leads to a stream of water. So nearby here, or nearby that drain, is a stream of water here. So that would give you an indication of a water source. All right, so always remember fire, or I should say first aid, the 3 F's. First aid, food, fire, and then water and shelter. All right, keep those in mind. I might be talking about that in later videos. Come on, let's get out of here, man. This dog just wants to get into the mix, and right now it's a little muddy and he doesn't care. He's ready to get down with the clown. All right, but yeah, so that was one thing I wanted to show y'all. That's all part of the area assessment that I was talking about. This is like a continuation. All right, so I gave you the generals of checking out your area in the sense of like criminal activity, the pulse of what goes on in your neighborhood, and this leads to another thing, and it's gonna be a little bit ways up. So hopefully, again, this phone doesn't go out before then. If it does, I'll get on in a few or later on. Of course, I won't be able to use the phone if the batteries go out. But like I said, I explained to you what I did with my area assessment, and basically what I came to was like a general mixture of things. The neighborhood wasn't too bad, wasn't too many people hanging out. It seemed pretty quiet for the most part. And let me share this with you real quick while I'm talking. Here's one of the flags I was talking about. All right. So there's flags like this planted in the ground. And as I would go on and walk, there's another green one further down. There's looks like a red or orange one, not too far from the green one. And just to give you some other, there he goes. He wants to go in there everywhere. Can't do it right now, my man. And so here's a green one right there. That says sewer. There's a red one we're coming up on. And that one says buried power. So somewhere close by, under this ground, somewhere is some buried power. All right, hold on. There we go. There we go. All right. So, close by some buried power in whatever form they put it in. Hey, we go down there later, man. We can't keep going around there like that. Come on. Another time. But, like I said, when I did my assessment, I came to the conclusion that it's not too loud in the neighborhood. You have the occasional people kind of hanging out in front of their buildings, but they don't hang out too long. They're pretty much inside. The kids are out to a certain time, and pretty much during school time, they are in the house pretty much before dark, from what I can tell. I don't see kids out too much once it gets dark. So, general speaking, the overall is like, it's not bad. It's not a lot of crazy activity. But this morning, around 3 a.m., I think it was. Looks like it's giving me another warning again. So let me make this super quick. I'm hoping it's still recording me. Because I wanted to show you guys. So I'm going to say this real quick and I'm going to get out of here. So about 3 a.m., I heard like 4 gunshots. Pow, 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 pow. Wait, pow, 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 pow. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I was like, wow. And it sounded pretty close by. And so I looked out the window to try to determine, where it could be coming from. But after those 4 shots, it just got real quiet. Nobody came out, police-wise or anything like that. It just got quiet. So just before I got on here to talk to you guys, I started walking my normal path, and let me see if I can get it. I don't know if you guys be able to see it because on my screen it's dark. I can see myself, but it's kind of faded out because the time frame on my battery. But let me put this real quick, see if you guys can see it. Hopefully you can. If you can, there you go. So what I seen is some right there. If you guys don't see it, I'll put it back on me. There's some bullet casings. It looks to be a 9mm or 45. But it's down the street. It's actually outside of the area that I live at. So I don't know if it was just continued or I don't know if it's just a isolated, something separate, but apparently somebody was doing some shooting over here. right? And so I know what I was hearing. Something was going on. And like I said, although it sounded pretty close to where I stay at, maybe it did happen right out here, and it was pretty just pretty loud. And so that's another piece of, I guess, assessment that I can consider. And if it happened to you, that you could have considered. There's a lot of flags over here. I'm not going to show it, but there's like 4 of them saying buried power. So we know there's like some power lines, and I guess the little green thing over there probably houses the power. And so that gave me some more intel of like, oh, okay, really? After the 2 or 3 weeks being out here, and the first time, you know, you hear some gunshots go off. And then, like I said, I walk out of the immediate area I live in, walking down the road, and find those bullet casings in the area. So I don't know. It could have been where the shots could have happened like in my immediate living area, and maybe the casings fell in the car or on the ground, and maybe some people came out, whether they were on foot or driving. They could have just, there's so many possibilities, or some possibilities. It could have been a thing where they got out here and decided to throw it in the street, and of course it went up on the side of the road there on the curb. It could have happened right there on the street. That's a possibility as well. So that's just more intel on the neighborhood I'm living in for me to be aware of. And so I just thought I'd share that with you guys. I'm gonna get off here quick. Like I said, my battery power is super low, and I don't know if what I'm seeing on my side, on my screen, if you guys are seeing the same thing, because it's like dark on my end. So I can see myself, but very barely can see myself on the screen to let me know I'm still recording. And so before it goes completely out, I'm gonna get out of here. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. As far as area assessment, you might want to go a little bit extra outside of just what activities criminal-wise might go on, or people's behaviors and stuff like that. You might also want to consider water sources, your nearest hospitals, your nearest medical facilities, in the event you have to make that run to them, fire stations, things like that. Ambulance. Some places have like little ambulance stations as well. And so you might want to walk around your neighborhood, and you might find out you have those things in your area as well. Okay. So there you have it. Survive and protect. Be sure to go to www.bit.ly/survive and protect. Check out the courses. Check out the new e-magazine. A new issue is coming next quarter with the e-magazine, and some more courses are coming pretty soon. So keep checking it out, and I'll get back at y'all, man. Maybe with another live one. Live or recorded, either one, all right? Survive and protect. I'm out. Peace.